Most people believe that transformation takes years. They think abundance is something they'll one day achieve after enough effort, struggle, and time. But alignment with abundance is not a far-off destination. It is a state of being that can be entered right now. At this very moment, in this very breath, you can shift your energy, and when you do, reality has no choice but to shift with you. Because life does not respond to your words, your wishes, or even your intentions. Life responds to your energy. Every thought you think and every emotion you feel is not locked inside your head. It radiates outward. The brain produces an electrical signal. The heart produces a magnetic signal. Together, they create your electromagnetic signature, and that is the message you are sending to the quantum field. Since the quantum field contains infinite possibilities, the signal you broadcast determines which possibility you will experience. This means that change does not take months or years. Change can happen instantly because the moment you shift the energy you are broadcasting, the field around you begins to reorganize in response. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning and the very first thoughts that come to mind are the problems of yesterday, the unpaid bills, the conflict at work, the ache in your body. As soon as you think those thoughts, you fire the same neural circuits as yesterday. You feel the same emotions, worry, stress, frustration. Your body produces the same chemicals, and together your thoughts and feelings create a familiar signal of lack. That is the energy you are radiating. And so life reflects it back. More lack, more stress, more frustration. But the opposite is just as true. Imagine instead that when you wake, you take one deep conscious breath. You release the story of yesterday. You bring your attention into your heart, and you choose gratitude, not because the outer world gave you a reason, but because you decide to. You feel it. You let it expand. And in that moment, everything changes. Your brain shifts from high beta stress into alpha calm, a state of openness and creativity. Your heart rhythm becomes coherent, producing an ordered electromagnetic field that extends beyond your body. Together, your heart and brain create harmony, broadcasting a clear signal of wholeness, abundance, and gratitude. The moment that signal changes, the field around you begins to mirror it. You step into your day, and life looks different. Conversations flow, opportunities appear, stressors dissolve. You didn't wait for reality to change. You changed first. This is not philosophy. This is science. Studies show that when people cultivate elevated emotions such as gratitude and love, their heart rhythms become coherent. The coherent heart influences the brain, creating synchrony between body and mind. And when you are coherent, the electromagnetic field you radiate is not chaotic, but ordered. That order influences the energy around you, drawing experiences that match. So abundance is not something you chase. It is something you allow. It is not waiting in the future. It is here, vibrating in this present moment. Think of it this way. Your energy is like light shining into a mirror. If the light is scattered, the reflection is distorted. If the light is focused, the reflection is clear. When you live in stress, your energy is scattered. You radiate mixed signals, and the reflection you receive from life feels chaotic. But when you align your thoughts and emotions in gratitude, joy, and love, your energy becomes focused, coherent, radiant. Life reflects it back with clarity. Let me share an example. A woman once came to one of my workshops weighed down by financial struggles, relationship pain, and health challenges. She felt trapped in a cycle of stress and lack. During the event, she practiced one exercise, placing her awareness in her heart and generating gratitude for the future she had not yet experienced. At first, her mind argued, "How can you feel grateful? Look at all your problems." But she persisted. She breathed into her heart. She softened. She chose gratitude anyway. And then something shifted. She felt it. Tears rolled down her face, not from sadness, but from relief. She realized, I can create this feeling without waiting for anything outside me. When she returned home, life began to reflect her new energy. An unexpected check arrived. A conversation led to a new opportunity. Her health improved. She wrote to us saying, "The moment I shifted my energy, my life shifted too." This is how instant it can be. The field does not take time to respond. The moment you shift your signal, the mirror of reality reflects it back. Now let's look at the difference between survival emotions and creation emotions. In survival, stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline flood the body. Your awareness narrows. You look for danger. You are no longer open to possibility. You are locked into the known. This is why people stuck in stress feel trapped. They cannot perceive abundance because the body has been trained to only notice threat. But creation emotions, gratitude, joy, inspiration, love, signal safety to the body. They expand awareness. They synchronize heart and brain. They create coherence, and coherence is order. In that state, your body becomes magnetic and experiences begin to organize themselves around you. So here is the great misunderstanding most people live by. They believe they must wait for something outside to change before they can feel abundant, whole, or free. They wait for the money before they feel wealthy. They wait for the relationship before they feel love. They wait for the healing before they feel whole. But waiting keeps them locked in lack, because their signal continues to broadcast need and incompleteness. The formula is backward. You must feel the emotion of the future now before it appears. When you generate the feeling of abundance without needing evidence, you broadcast a new signal and the field must reflect it. This is how you shift instantly. It takes one breath, one act of awareness, one decision to feel gratitude before the evidence arrives. You don't need to wait. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to fight for it. Abundance is already available. It's your alignment that makes it real. And here's what happens with practice. At first, it may feel effortful. You may feel like you're pretending, but repetition rewires the brain. New circuits form. The body learns the new chemistry. Soon, gratitude becomes natural, coherence becomes effortless, and abundance becomes a baseline state of being. So ask yourself now, what energy are you broadcasting? Stress, fear, lack, or gratitude, love, and wholeness? The field is always listening, and the field always reflects back what you are. The good news is you can change it right now. You don't need to solve every problem first. You don't need to wait for perfect conditions. You only need to shift your energy. And the simplest way is through breath, awareness, and elevated emotion. Remember this, abundance does not come to those who need it. It comes to those who embody it. So take a breath, feel your heart, choose gratitude, and know the field is already responding. Most people live their entire lives believing that what they say, what they wish for, or even what they pray for is the key to creating change. They think that if they say the right words, speak the right affirmations, or repeat their desires often enough, the universe will eventually listen. But here's the truth. The universe is not listening to your words. It is responding to your energy. You could say, I am abundant 1,000 times a day. You could tell yourself, I am wealthy, I am free, I am powerful, over and over again. But if the energy you are radiating is fear, doubt, and lack, then those words are empty. They do not carry weight in the field. They do not alter the electromagnetic signal you are broadcasting. Words alone are vibrations of sound, but energy, the emotional state behind those words, is the true language of the universe. Every thought you think produces an electrical signal in the brain. Every emotion you feel produces a magnetic field through the heart. Together, your thoughts and feelings create an electromagnetic frequency that radiates out into the space around your body, and this field extends beyond you. It influences everything and everyone you come into contact with. In fact, research from the HeartMath Institute has shown that the electromagnetic field of the heart can be detected several feet outside the body, and that it carries information about your emotional state. Think about that for a moment. It means you are broadcasting a signal 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the universe is responding, not to what you say, but to what you are energetically broadcasting. This is why people often feel stuck. They say they want abundance. They say they want love. They say they want freedom. But inside, they are still feeling fear, still living in doubt, still rehearsing lack. And so they send out one message with their words, but a completely different message with their energy. Which one do you think the field responds to? Always the energy, always the frequency. Let's go deeper. Every emotion has a measurable frequency. Fear, guilt, shame, and unworthiness vibrate at lower levels. Gratitude, love, joy, inspiration vibrate at higher levels. When you live in low-frequency emotions, your energy is incoherent. It's scattered. It sends mixed signals into the field. One moment you want abundance, the next moment you worry about not having enough. One moment you affirm love, the next moment you feel unworthy of it. This incoherence creates noise in your broadcast, and the field mirrors that noise back to you as chaos, confusion, and delay. But when you live in elevated emotions, your energy becomes coherent. Heart and brain come into alignment. Your signal is no longer scattered. It is clear, ordered, strong. And because it is coherent, it resonates with precision in the field. The universe mirrors it back, not as randomness, but as synchronicity. This is why energy speaks louder than words. Words may come from the conscious mind, but energy comes from the subconscious, the deeper part of you that holds the true vibration of who you are. If you say, "I am abundant," but inside you feel unworthy, the subconscious energy will override the conscious words. The universe is not fooled. Energy never lies. Now let's ground this in science. When you think a thought, neurons in your brain fire. The patterns of those firings generate electrical impulses. When you feel an emotion, your heart produces a magnetic field that varies with the quality of that emotion. Gratitude creates smooth, coherent rhythms. Fear creates jagged, incoherent rhythms. These rhythms are not just metaphors, they can be measured with instruments. And when heart and brain rhythms come into coherence, they create a strong electromagnetic field that is broadcast into the quantum space around you. That field interacts with the larger field of information and possibility, and it draws experiences into your life that match the frequency you are radiating. So here's the key: you don't attract what you say you want. You attract what you are. If you are living in fear, you are tuned to the frequency of fear, and so you attract more situations that confirm fear. If you are living in lack, you are tuned to the frequency of lack, and so life mirrors back more lack. But if you are living in gratitude, you are tuned to the frequency of abundance, and life reflects that abundance back to you. Let me illustrate with an example. A man came to one of our events. He was in deep financial stress, and he wanted desperately to change his circumstances. Every day he repeated affirmations: "I am wealthy, I am successful, I am free." But inside, he felt panic. He felt the weight of debt. He felt unworthy of success. His words were abundant, but his energy was lack. During the event, he learned to shift. Instead of repeating words, he began to practice coherence. He closed his eyes, breathed slowly into his heart, and began to feel gratitude, not for what he had, but for what he was becoming. At first, his mind resisted. It said, "This is fake. You don't have anything to be grateful for." But he persisted. He kept breathing, kept focusing, kept feeling, and something changed. He felt it. Real gratitude, real wholeness, real abundance. His energy shifted. Within weeks, opportunities began appearing. He received unexpected financial help. A new business contact offered him work that lifted him out of debt. He wrote to us saying, "I used to say I wanted abundance, but I realized I was broadcasting fear. The moment I changed my energy, everything changed." That is the power of coherence. That is why energy speaks louder than words. Think of your energy as a broadcast tower. When your signal is weak and full of static, fear, doubt, stress, you can't connect clearly with the frequency of abundance. But when your signal is strong and coherent, gratitude, love, joy, the connection is crystal clear and the field responds with precision. This is why the practice of shifting your energy is not about saying more affirmations. It's about aligning your thoughts and emotions into coherence. It's about embodying the state you wish to attract before it arrives. So how do you do it? Start with awareness. Notice the energy you are broadcasting. Are you sending out stress or peace? Are you broadcasting doubt or trust? Are you radiating lack or gratitude? Once you notice, you can shift. And the fastest way to shift is through breath and heart-centered emotion. Breathe slowly, deeply. Place your attention in your heart. Generate the feeling of gratitude, not because of what's outside you, but because you choose it. Gratitude is the energy of already having, of already being, of already receiving. When you feel it authentically, your body begins to believe the future has already arrived, and the universe cannot help but reflect it. Remember, incoherence happens when your head and heart are out of alignment, when your mind says one thing but your body feels another. Coherence happens when your thoughts and emotions match. When you think abundance and feel gratitude, when you think love and feel love, when you think wholeness and feel wholeness, you are in coherence. And in that state, your energy is louder than any words you could ever say. Energy never lies. You can't fake it. You can't cover it up with words, you can only embody it. And the moment you do, life reflects it back to you. So the question is, what frequency are you living on? What signal are you broadcasting into the field right now? If you want to experience abundance, you must tune your energy to it. You must live in the feeling of it now, before the evidence appears. Because the field does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. When you embody abundance, you radiate a signal of wholeness, of completeness, of coherence. That signal is clear, strong, undeniable, and the field mirrors it back with precision. So stop focusing on words alone. Words are only the surface. Go deeper, shift your energy, embody the frequency of abundance, and watch as life reflects that abundance back to you in ways more beautiful and precise than you could ever imagine. So many people spend their entire lives chasing success, chasing love, chasing happiness, chasing money. They believe that if they just push hard enough, if they just hustle long enough, if they just control every little detail, life will eventually give them what they want. And yet, even when they reach those external goals, they often feel empty. Why? Because magnetism, the force that draws life toward you, is not born of effort, it is born of energy. Magnetism comes not from what you do, but from what you are. It does not begin outside of you, it begins within you. When you embody elevated emotions, gratitude, love, joy, inspiration, wholeness, you radiate a field of energy that reorganizes the space around you. That energy draws matching experiences into your life, not because you fought for them, not because you demanded them, but because the field cannot help but respond to the frequency you are broadcasting. This is why I say, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Now let's understand this through the lens of science. Every time you feel an emotion, your body produces a chemical signature. Those chemicals influence your physiology, your hormones, your immune system, and even your genetic expression. But beyond that, your emotions radiate beyond your body. The heart generates a magnetic field that extends several feet outward, measurable with scientific instruments. That field carries information, and the quality of that information, coherent or incoherent, elevated or diminished, depends on the emotions you are feeling. When you live in stress, fear, or lack, your heart rhythm becomes incoherent. The field you broadcast is jagged, irregular, chaotic. And so the experiences you attract feel the same, chaotic, inconsistent, unstable. But when you live in gratitude, love, joy, and wholeness, your heart rhythm becomes coherent. The field you broadcast is ordered, harmonious, magnetic. And life reflects that back to you with clarity. Let's use imagery here. Imagine yourself as a magnet. Every thought and feeling you generate is like a charge. When you think in lack, your magnet is weak, scattered, pulling little to you. But when you feel gratitude for the life you are already creating, when you generate love for the future that is already on its way, your magnet grows strong. It radiates a powerful field, and experiences that match that field begin to orbit around you, drawn in by resonance. This is not imagination, it is measurable physics. Resonance means that two energies vibrating at similar frequencies amplify each other. When you elevate your emotions, you tune your energy to a higher frequency. The field around you resonates with that signal, and experiences of a similar frequency are pulled into your life. This is why gratitude before the event is so powerful. Most people wait until something good happens before they feel gratitude, but in doing so, they are responding to the external world. They are trapped in cause and effect. Something happens, then they feel. But if you can generate gratitude before the event, if you can feel it as if it has already happened, you flip the formula. Now you are causing an effect. You are broadcasting into the field a signal that says, it is already done. And the field, which mirrors back the energy you radiate, begins to organize itself to bring that event closer. Let me give you an example. A man once told me he longed for a loving relationship. He went on dates, tried different approaches, read all the books, but nothing seemed to work. Why? Because deep down, his energy was still rooted in unworthiness and loneliness. He was trying to get love while broadcasting lack of love. But when he shifted, when he began to practice generating gratitude and love and meditation, when he began to feel whole before anyone showed up, something changed. Within months, he met someone who reflected back the love he was already embodying. He didn't get love. He became love, and life mirrored it back. That's the difference between trying to get and becoming magnetic. When you try to get, you are signaling lack. You are telling the universe, I don't have it. But when you become magnetic, when you embody the emotions of already having, already being, already receiving, you radiate wholeness. And the universe reflects that wholeness back with synchronicities, opportunities, and miracles. This is why I call elevated emotions a hidden superpower. Most people are unaware of the field they are radiating. They live unconsciously, repeating old emotions of stress, fear, and doubt, and wondering why life keeps delivering the same results. But the moment you realize that you can generate elevated emotions on demand, that you don't need the outer world to change first, you step into your power. You realize that magnetism is not about effort, it's about alignment. So, how do you practice becoming magnetic? Start with the heart. Your heart is the center of your electromagnetic field. When you place your attention on your heart and breathe slowly, deeply, you signal to your body that it is safe. You move out of survival and into creation. Then choose an elevated emotion. Gratitude is a powerful one because it carries the energy of already receiving. Feel gratitude not for what you had yesterday, but for what you are creating now. Imagine your future self already living the life you desire. Feel gratitude for it as if it is happening now. When you do this, your body does not know the difference between the outer world and the inner world. It believes the event has already occurred. It begins to produce the chemistry of that future in the present. And the more you repeat it, the more your subconscious is reconditioned. Soon, your new state of being becomes automatic. You are no longer waiting for abundance, you are living it now. And here's the beauty. When you live it now, the outer world has no choice but to mirror it. The magnet you've become pulls matching experiences toward you. You no longer chase. Life begins to chase you. Let me share another story. A woman struggling with chronic illness came to one of our events. For years, she fought against her condition. She tried every treatment, every approach, every effort to get well. But she realized she had been radiating fear and frustration the whole time. During the event, she began to generate elevated emotions, love for her body, gratitude for her healing, joy for the wholeness she could feel inside. At first, her mind resisted, but as she practiced, her magnet grew stronger. Within months, her symptoms diminished dramatically. She wrote to us, "I stopped chasing healing. I became wholeness, and my body followed." This is the secret. Magnetism is not external. It is not about what you do in the outer world. It is cultivated inside. It is about generating the emotions of the life you desire now in this moment. Science supports this. Studies show that when people sustain elevated emotions, their immune system strengthens, their brain chemistry shifts, their genetic expression improves, their bodies literally reorganize around the signal they are radiating. The same principle applies to their external life. The field around them reorganizes as well, bringing events and opportunities into coherence with their elevated state. So ask yourself, are you trying to get, or are you becoming magnetic? Are you broadcasting lack, or are you radiating gratitude? Are you waiting for life to change, or are you embodying the change right now? When you truly live in elevated emotions, you don't have to chase, you don't have to control, you don't have to force. Life flows toward you, synchronicities multiply, doors open effortlessly, the right people appear at the right time. You realize that abundance was never outside of you, it was always a frequency you could tune into within yourself. Magnetism is your natural state when you rise above survival and step into creation. Gratitude, love, joy, inspiration, wholeness, these are not just feelings, they are forces. They reorganize your body, they rewire your brain, they reshape your reality. So take a breath. Place your attention in your heart. Choose gratitude, not because the world gave you a reason, but because you are greater than your circumstances. Feel love, not because someone arrived, but because you are love. Generate joy not because of what happened, but because you can. And as you embody these emotions, know that your field is radiating magnetism. The universe is listening. Life is responding. Experiences are being drawn to you right now. You no longer need to chase, because when you live in elevated emotions, life begins to chase you. So how do you actually shift your energy instantly? How do you take all of this knowledge from thoughts and emotions, from coherence, from magnetism, and apply it in the very moment you need it? The process is simpler than most imagine. First, pause. The moment you notice stress, fear, or lack, stop. Do not let the unconscious momentum of survival carry you. Awareness itself interrupts the old pattern. Second, breathe. Take a long, slow, deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs, expanding your chest. Hold it softly, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. As you do, release the tension, the story, the survival energy you've been carrying. One breath can reset your nervous system, moving you out of survival and into presence. Third, move your attention into your heart. Place your awareness in the center of your chest, as if your breath is flowing in and out through that space. This shifts your physiology immediately. Your heart begins to regulate, your brain begins to synchronize, and your body begins to align. Fourth, choose an elevated emotion. Gratitude is the fastest. Love is powerful. Joy, inspiration, wholeness, any elevated emotion will do. Feel it authentically. Even if your mind argues, even if your circumstances don't match, choose to feel it anyway. When you generate the emotion of the future now, your body and subconscious believe the event has already arrived. Fifth, sustain it. Don't just touch it for a moment. Linger in it. Let the feeling expand until it fills your whole body, until it radiates beyond you. The longer you sustain elevated emotion, the stronger your signal, the more magnetic you become, the more the field around you reorganizes. That's it. Awareness, breath, heart, emotion, sustained. This is how you shift instantly. This is how you align with abundance. Not someday, but now. And remember this, the universe is not responding to what you say. It is responding to what you are. When you shift your energy, the universe has no choice but to shift with you. So the next time you catch yourself in stress, lack, or fear, stop, breathe, move into your heart, and choose gratitude. That single act may be the moment your entire reality begins to change. Because abundance is not waiting in the future. It is waiting for you to tune into it now.